Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. Imagine having the courage to reinvent your life financially, professionally, personally, and spiritually. Join Cheryl and guests as they share practical tips and resources to inspire you to achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. So grab your favorite mug. It's time for Coffee with Cheryl.
Welcome to the Coffee with Cheryl podcast, the podcast for women over 50 who want to live their best life right now. I am so pleased today to have with me as my guest, Pat Gillum of Pat Gillum Consulting. She is a mindset guru and she is one of my mentors. She has done so much for me in my business and in my journey as I do this thing called 50 something. And so I would love for you to say hello to us, Pat.
Hello, everyone.
It's
Cheryl, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it is such an honor for you to be here. And for those of you who don't know Pat, and I think there are very few of you here, she is one of my, like I said, my own personal mentors, but she is a coach, a mindset coach. She's a clarity coach. She's an international speaker. She's an award-winning and best-selling author. She has done so much for this community for women, not just over 50, but for women all over the world. And we are so honored to have her today. And she's going to speak with us about something that most of us deal with as we journey through life over 50, and that is mindset. And so I want to start today, before Pat shares with us about how to have a success mindset, I want to share our quote for today. Create the life you can't wait to wake up to.
Wow.
Isn't that a wonderful quote?
It's powerful, right? Create the life.
It is. And I tell you, having been at a point in my life, especially in my late 50s, where it was hard for me to get out of bed because life had just sort of done some things in terms of business. My kids were leaving home. I was falling into depression, and I just had no reason to get out of bed. And I knew that I had to do some things to create the purpose and passion in my life to get up. And I know for you, Pat, that is something you talk to women about every day.
Yes, you know what, I tell you this thing, I tell people, Cheryl, and I'm sharing with you, and of course you probably already know this, but with the audience pretty much that, you know, mindset is something we have to work on every day.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, people say, oh, I took a shower yesterday, I'm clean. Like, no, you got to take a shower every day. Like to stay clean, right? So that's the same thing with mindset. We have to work on it every day. And no matter how well, you know, you got this thing down, you know, all the techniques, right? You have all the tools. Sometimes life gets the best of us, right? So that's why we consistently have to be working on it. We consistently have to wake up and do those things that we'll talk about a little bit later in the program about how you have to do certain things to really set yourself up for success for the day, which is why I created the program Mindset for Success, because you have to start your day off with those things that are going to really fuel you and keep you going for the rest of the day. So yeah.
That is so true. Before we get into more of your program, tell us a little bit about Pat Gillum. Tell us how you got here and what you do every day to keep yourself going.
Yeah, so my journey is this, as Cheryl shared with you, and I think so many times, you know, when we get to be a certain age, right, we think that we should have accomplished certain things by now, right? So we all have that societal pressure that, oh my gosh, by this age, I should be this, and by this, I should be married with 2 kids and all of this other stuff, and the house and the car, right? And, you know, the corporate office. But what often happens is, like we talked about, life happens, right? So I found myself like literally almost in my probably early 40s going through a divorce. Like I never saw myself literally getting a divorce. Nobody gets married, right, to get a divorce. So
Right.
there's another transition in our life, and a very low moment for me where I really had to figure out what my next step was going to be. Like what's next for me, because I've been a mom, I've been a wife, and I literally kind of lost myself in that whole thing where I tell people I would go to my kids' school and it was like, oh, that's Michaela's mom, that's Courtney's mom. I go to my husband's job, that's Michael's wife, right? So nobody was even calling me Pat anymore. I became a product of somebody else. So I had to really redefine who I was. And I think having that low moment for me was really deciding whether I was going to leave my marriage or not. And then what was next? All this things you start coming up and you start feeling like a failure. You're like, nobody gets married to get a divorce, and why couldn't I make it work? So you start telling yourself all these negative things about why your marriage didn't work, why you couldn't make it work, why you are a failure. And so, like you said, Cheryl, earlier, it can lead you into a path of, depression and anxiety, trying to live up to what society thinks that you should be doing, right? So I found myself there, and I kept thinking, okay, so now I know where I am. What can I do to get myself out of this funk, to get myself out of feeling like I'm a failure and I really don't know what's next for me, because I'm confused, life's chaotic. So I knew I needed to get centered and figure out I need clarity in my life. Once I get clear about what it is I want, what that next step is for me, the how will happen. But the first thing you have to do is you got to get clear. The quote you just read, what do I see for myself in the morning? What do I want to wake up to? So that's what I started doing, Cheryl. I started saying, okay, this didn't work, but what do I want now? And I got clear about what I wanted to see next in my life. And that's how I started to change my mindset about what was possible for me to achieve.
Well, I know for me, when I took your mastermind a few years ago, and I was at that point, I think mindset is something that a lot of us believe that once we get it to a certain point, it's going to stay there. And it doesn't. So when I took your mastermind, you knew that I was at one of those lows. No matter how much success I had in my life to that point.
And you have been very successful.
And yeah, I have. But you caught me at one of those times where I needed a boost. And it was the perfect time. And your sessions on clarity and mindset in that mastermind helped me to redirect and recenter myself and take 50 something to another level.
Yes.
So I tell you, those of you who are listening, if you are struggling now, don't just continue to struggle. Get help. Talk to someone like Pat, because she can help you take it to that next level. Talk to us about some of the things that we do to ourselves to sabotage our own mindset as we go through business or through a career, being moms or whatever.
You're so right, Cheryl. Here's what it is for us and all of us. So here's the foundation. All of us come into this world with a set of beliefs.
Yes.
Our belief system, of course, is accumulation of all the things that we've either experienced in our environments, right? Things that, information that we've heard, right?
Yeah.
Or by observation. So that's how we come to our beliefs in 4 different ways. It's either through something you've seen, right? Information that you've heard, experiences that we've had, right? Or people or things that we've been exposed to. So based on that, if we know that we believe certain things based on those 4 factors in our lives, that's how we start to behave, and that's how we start to operate. And that's how our mind gets set about what is possible for us.
Right.
So I always say to women, if you've been in an environment where people told you, I say this because, you know, I'm in this space where, you know what, there's not enough men. There's not enough men. You're going to have to compete. Your mom told you that, your sisters, your aunties, your relatives, and then, wow, you move to a city like Washington, D.C., and you're told there is literally 5 women to every 1 man. So now you've experienced. You see, somebody told you that, then you move to a city where that became true for you, and now that's instilled into you, and that's just the way it is, because that's what you believe, that there are not enough men to go around. And now you take on a mindset and a behavior of, I need to compete with the next woman so that I can get a man. So we have to be willing, because that's the key. We have to be willing first to believe something different. We have to be willing to do that, to know that someone will come into your life to say to you, oh no, I live in Atlanta and there's a lot of men there. As a matter of fact, it's 5 men to every 1 woman. So now the person who heard that growing up, lived in DC, experienced that, they moved to Atlanta where there's a plethora of men to choose from. And so now they now have been exposed to something different. They believe now something different. And I'll tell you, more than likely, that's how people's belief systems change. It's not because you told me that there were a lot of men, because see, I'm still holding on to my old programming that there's still not enough. But then when I moved to Atlanta and I experienced that for myself, I've been exposed to it. Now my belief system changes because I know there's more than enough. And I don't have to compete. And we have to do that. I give that example because we have to do that almost with everything we're doing. We got to believe there's more than enough jobs. We got to be in a position to believe that my business can be successful. We have to believe that there is life after 50, right? There's more. It's about reprogramming your mind to believe that something different than what you've been taught or what you have been exposed to in the past that runs your subconscious is possible for you now.
And that's so true. For me, one thing that has always been true for me is that I always knew that there was enough. More than enough. And that was one of the reasons for my success in every aspect of my life. And I think that came from my childhood, because our parents raised us to know that you don't have to compete with other people. Just be the best that you're going to be, and that will be enough. And so I want you to talk to the ladies today about some things that your coaching program provides, or they can learn from your program, that will help them today start to rework their minds, start to do something to help them have a more success-driven mindset.
Yeah, so I think, having a mindset for success, my program is based on 4 principles.
Okay.
And the 4 principles are really around things that have helped me. So I share my experiences with people so that they don't have to go through, everything I went through, and they can take the shortcut. And that's what I always say. It's like, when you are struggling with mindset, you got to have these 4 principles and get this. The first one is you got to be really clear about what you want. So we do really a lot of work around clarity. And it's not clarity about just what you want. It's a clarity about who you are, who you're purposed to be, who you were created to be, and how you need to now start showing up, as that person, because each and every one of us have purpose, and the purpose is the skills, the talents that you were created with, that sometimes that we allow to get stuffed down within us based on, again, all that stuff I told you about your experiences and exposures. So now you have to reprogram what it is that you truly, truly want. But in order to do that, you got to get clear about two things: about who you are, and then what you desire. Get clear. So the first thing we do in the program, the principle is clarity, getting clear about who you are, and then get clear about, it's really about like just who you are, how you need to show up, and you're going to be clear about what you want. So when I know who I am, I'm going to be clear about what I want. And the second thing is, after clarity, you got to really be able, this is the hard one a lot of times for people. It's like, once you get clear, right, about who you are, Cheryl, and about what you want, you got to have a confidence now to go
right.
You got to be confident that I am the person for that job. I am, the person that can make that happen. So you got to really increase your confidence. And so we do a lot of work with women around increasing their confidence to know that what they say they want, they truly can have. And the third thing is, after using the confidence, you're going to have use your courage to ask for it. Use the courage to ask for what you want. Because see, it's not enough to say, I know what I want. I think I can have it, because confidence is, can I have it, right? I think I can.
Right.
But then what if I don't ask for it? And what if I don't take the action to make it happen?
Right.
Then it's not good. You're not going to be able to use the courage. So that means you're lacking courage to really go after it and to have and to ask for what you say you desire. And the last thing is what almost 99.9% of us struggle with is having the commitment. See, we talked about this. You can't do it one time,
right,
and then you get ready to see some amazing results. You got to practice clarity daily. You got to practice confidence daily. You got to practice your courage daily. It's called having the commitment to consistent action. That's the 4 principles that I teach in Mindset for Success. So when you put all that together, you put clarity, confidence, courage, and consistent commitment together. That's the recipe for a mindset for success. So that's what we do in the program. It is an 8-week program. And during those 8 weeks, I really take women through some powerful exercises, giving them some tools and techniques that have really helped move my business and move me personally to that next level. Because Cheryl, here it is. It's not that people don't know what they need to do. It's they want to know why they're not doing what it is they know they need to do. And that's what we work on in Mindset for Success.
Now, for those of women out there who would love to connect with you, how do they do that? What's the best way to connect to Pat Gillum?
So right now you can go to mindsetforsuccess.co if you want to really find out more information about the Mindset for Success program. But if you just want to know who is Pat Gillum and who she helped, and what are her programs, what's she all about, and go to patgillum.com. So I tell people first to definitely go to my website, check me out, and then if you really want to say, I want to know more, I want to be able to work with you, you can enroll in the program at mindsetforsuccess.co, or just have a chat with me by going to my website, scheduling some time on my calendar.
Well, definitely, ladies, if you are looking for someone to help you, I can tell you that Pat is the person to talk to. I don't know if she knows how much she has done for me personally throughout the years that we've known each other. And I know that 50-something lifestyle would not be what it is today had I not met Pat Gillum.
Oh, you're so wonderful, so kind, so sweet. I thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. I just love women like you, Cheryl. When you get it, you understand it, and you literally sat in that mastermind, and I've seen you soar. like never before. Like people, I'm sure your audience knows, but this is going international and global, this broadcast. So you need to know Cheryl has like already had massive success before she met me. And now after I see her, she's launched an amazing magazine. She has not only become an author herself, she's helped other women become authors by building a huge collaborative book that has taken on Amazon bestsellers. She has launched this platform. She's always had the 50-something platform, but Cheryl, you've taken it to another level. So I love seeing you play big. I love seeing you go and get everything your heart desires. I'm so proud of you. And if there's anything I can do to continue to support you, support your audience, please, please reach out to me.
Oh, that is a definite. And for those of you who are not living your best life right now, I hope you got some good nuggets today to take away and go and get to work on getting out of bed every morning with a purpose and a passion to live a successful life. And success is different for all of us.
Yes.
So make sure that your success is what you want and what you need in your life. And again, if you are struggling with anything to do with your being clear on what you want and knowing the direction you want for your life right now, connect with Pat. She is definitely the person that you will want to connect to, and go to patgillum.com to see what she's able to do for you. I think you can sign up there to set up a consultation with you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so do that. And again, thank you for listening to today's podcast. We are always thinking about ways to help you live your best life after 50, not tomorrow, not 3 years from now, but today, right now.
Yes.
Thank you, Pat, again for joining us today on our podcast. And I look forward to many, many collaborative opportunities with you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it.